We use this term during football season, moral victory with the Patriots. When they lose games that are close, you expected them to get blown out. So I'm I believe in the reaction kind of thing, the yin and the yang of the world, that everything has an equal and opposite. This was a moral defeat. This was a moral defeat. This was the kind of game that the Celtics win, and you walk out of the arena still and go, uh-oh. Because I think at some point during that game, anybody that was watching that game from the Boston perspective, the Celtics perspective, or that's a Celtics fan, was looking at it and saying, uh-oh.
So you feel worse?
I do. I think Indiana's better than I thought. So let's start with the Pacers there. I give Indiana a lot of credit. I love the way that they play offense. Can't express that enough. I don't remember being quite that good during the regular season. It's hard to, but boy, were they good offensively. The passing, the moving, the cutting, the shooting, all of it. They scored 128 points and they didn't go to the line. 128. And I thought they freaking shredded the Celtics at that end of the floor. Picked them apart. I thought they completely picked them apart. And the thing that changed to me in the second half, particularly late in the third and the fourth, was the defensive intensity of a couple of guys on the Celtics. Jaylen Brown and Drew Holiday in particular started getting in people's shorts. They created some turnovers. But the bottom line is Indiana's better than I thought. And I thought the Celtics were still in regular season mode. They came out guns blazing the early part of that game. I thought they would start the game strong. They did. And then Indiana hit back, and I think the Celtics were surprised. I think the Celtics thought they were going to get them on the mat early, 12-0, 14-2, that it would be a 10, 12-point game. Then they'd hit them with another run and be up 25, and that'd be it. And Indiana hit back, and I'm not sure the Celtics ever really got their legs after that.
So I was going to ask, is it fair to say and fair to form a show or a topic around the following? If Jaylen Brown hadn't hit that shot, what would we be saying?
We'd be annihilating Jason Tatum today.
Okay, but is that fair to do? Because
sure. Yes.
He did hit the shot. They did win.
Yes.
So it's fair for me to do that?
Of course.
So we can do a show or a topic or a segment that says if Jaylen Brown had missed that shot, what would we be saying?
Yeah, why would that be wrong to do that?
Because that's sort of like saying...
How did you feel at the end of regulation before Brown made that shot?
Not well. If I were a Celtics fan, I would not be feeling good at all. Yeah, but, it's like sort of, what if the Pats had lost that Super Bowl?
Okay, but it's not the same thing.
You did an hour on that.
It's not. We did.
Still hate it.
We did, actually.
That's why I'm asking for permission.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because, again, in the NBA, look, and anything's possible, but these guys are huge favorites. They're at home, and you are relying on a guy who is standing in a phone booth at the three-point line with 5 seconds to go, less, needing to hit a three-pointer over a guy that's taller than him and who only got the shot off because the guy was afraid to foul him. So the fact that you had to rely on that to push the game to overtime, would you call that a high percentage shot?
Of course not.
Okay, so this is what I'm saying.
Indy gave you the game.
Yes, they got lucky. They got lucky.
Indy gave you the game. That's it. You didn't take it. Indy gave you the game.
Bingo.
All right? The last turnover that we just played, that sequence, where Indy couldn't get the ball in bounds and Jaylen Brown hit the three, you took some of that. That's not really one of the plays that I'm talking about. Because Brown did, on the inbounds play, defend hard, and you affected that, and certainly he made the shot. I mean, I think it was a little bit of luck that did get the backboard, didn't it? Did I miss that? I think it grazed the backboard from like an impossible angle. So, okay, but otherwise, there were plays where Halliburton just kicked you the ball.
Correct.
Without any pressure. There was one where Holiday was pressuring him and he lost the ball. But there was one in particular with about 40 seconds left with a 3-point lead in the ball. And without any pressure, Halliburton just kicked away the ball.
Right, and that's the one that Neesmith tried to save going out of bounds.
This
happened
is right.
Twice.
Okay, there were a couple of those. Again, I think Holiday gave him some pressure on the second, but listen. Indy gave you the game.
Correct.
Which, if you're going to get sensitive about, I can't help you. Because it's okay. It's okay to say that. Because I think, Mazz, generally speaking, that I would feel better about their championship hopes after yesterday. Because often when you win a championship, you get a game that you should lose. You win a game you should lose. Mm-hmm. or you have one of those games where against all odds you pull it out of your ass, and it's like no one thought you had it, and then at the end you win it. It's like it's like found money, and a lot of teams get that on the way to a title. And I think the Celtics need to come through more of those kind of games, experience more of those kind of games. We've been talking about that for a month. So I think between those two things, having gone through that experience, played that type of game, helps them. I think the fact that they won one they should have lost helps them. So like all that I would feel better about. Okay. But how'd you feel about the way that they played? I mean, Indy's not in their league.
No.
And they couldn't put them away. The lead was between 5 and 10 all game, and then Indy has several possessions inside of a minute, +3 with the ball. And they just kick it away to you.
Right.
So what would we be saying today, Dondero, if Jaylen Brown had missed the shot?
I resent the fact that you asked me that question.
Oh, that's good answer.
What would we be saying today if Jaylen Brown missed a shot, and would we be wrong?
We would not be wrong, and we would be killing Jason Tatum today. That's what we would be doing.
And would we be wrong to be doing it? And is it unfair to even say if he had missed a shot because he made the shot?
Right.
So you're sort of I get it. It's a device. But I would say this. A lot of the same problems that the team has, and there's not many, but they do have some. The fourth quarter stagnation of the offense. And Tatum is central to that. That's like my big thing. The iso ball shot selection, the way they play offense in crucial moments, to me is one of the biggest issues on the team. That's why they almost lost that game to a team that has no business being in the same, arena with them.
Correct.
And so, that should concern you. But by the same token, Indy isn't good enough to make that count. They're not good enough to make that be the difference against you. Is Minnesota or Dallas? I'm not even sure.
Minnesota is, I think, and I'll tell you why in a minute, but go ahead.
I'm not even sure. I think that's an issue on the Celtics, and it's obviously not gone away, and I don't know if it's going away. If the Golden State Warriors a couple of years ago, they could make that count. They could make you pay for that. The Heat with Jimmy Butler could make you pay for that. I don't know. Is there another? I don't know if those other teams can make them pay for it, but it's still there. That's still an issue.
Absolutely, and that's the thing. That is ultimately the thing. You look at it and you say, did the Celtics show anything different in this game? Was there something that happened at the end of the game that made you say,
I mean, the fourth,
there are problems at the end of the game. Those are gone.
Fourth quarter, Jason Tatum went 2 for 7, and he went the last 9:44 without a basket.
I believe that's right. Yep.
Okay, but then he gets to overtime, and he makes the big shot at the top of the key. He was 2 of 8 from behind the line, but the last one went in, and he got a couple plays at the rim. So how do you look at that? If Jaylen Brown hadn't made the shot, I mean, it's like, so the overtime proves that Jason Tatum is clutch and tough and that? Dondero, does the overtime prove that Jason Tatum is tough and clutch and all that?
Yes. Okay. What are we doing here? That's the question, because these hypotheticals drive me crazy. We could go all day and all night and do stuff like that all across sports forever.
So it's unfair to say if Jaylen Brown had missed a shot. Because I was just listening to Grandy and Max. They were pointing out Jason Tatum's misses.
Absolutely. And in fact, they even said that, the talking heads would be talking about Jason Tatum tomorrow. And don't let Sean kid you, Grandy. He'd be talking about it too.
But Max was saying he missed a wide open shot. I mean, they were starting to talk about it.
Correct.
We would be talking about that.
And then Jaylen Brown banked one in from the corner. Go ahead.
You didn't bank it in. It didn't hit backboard.
I don't think it did either.
I think it might have hit backboard.
I don't think it did either. But
it doesn't matter. He made the shot, and then they went to overtime, and then Tatum came up big. I don't know what we're talking about here. That's a huge win. This is the exact type of win I've been yearning for them to get. They came up big. I don't care that Indiana choked and gave it away. They came up big, and not just they, the Celtics. Brown and Tatum. Brown at the end made free throws. He made 2 free throws in the final minute of the game. That might have been bigger than the 3. The 3 was probably more luck than anything, but still a big shot. And then Tatum in overtime sticks with it. I mean, he had grit. He stayed with it. He made the 3, he made the and 1, and the play nobody's talking about. The offensive rebound that Neesmith had in overtime with the Pacers up 3.
Yeah, Tatum knocked it away.
They didn't even bring it up on the broadcast.
It's a big play.
It's
a good play.
So, I mean, that you got to get. This is a day to celebrate the clutchness of the Celtics and give them credit. They pulled out a win. That's winning DNA. They shouldn't have won that game, and they pulled it out. The clutch play of their stars. I've been starving for that That's a huge day. That's a huge win.
Mark, you should start yelling at Cedric Maxwell and Sean Grande.
But man, Tatum had a wide open look.
Oh, the talking heads are going to be salivating for the next 48 hours.
Well, they jumped the gun.
About Jason Tatum.
Well, I mean, so that's what. I mean, I
mean, Grande gave the victory to the Pacers at the 10-second mark. Said game 1 goes to the Pacers.
I mean, Brown forced the turnover. I mean, there's some
at Sean Grande play-by-play on Twitter there, Mark.
From Matt Dondero. I just think that's a huge moment for this team. That's the exact type of win that they're going to have to find a way to convert if they want to win a championship. That's growth to me. That's what they showed me that was different from other games. Yes, they had a 13-point lead with 4 minutes to go in the third, and it was close. And just one more thing, sorry. The Pacers are better than everybody wants. They're not some pushover. They've evolved. They play better defense. They came back from 0-2 in New York and then 3-2.
10-point underdogs.
Well, whatever. They're better than the stats say.
Oh.
They're better. It's going to be a series. This is not some pushover. They're better, but they're better than...
Well, and by the way, Mark, you might also want to vent your frustrations to Jaylen Brown, who was critical of Jason Tatum in his post-game comments to ESPN.
JT finally woke up, made some baskets.
Yeah,
JT finally woke up.
You know what, though, Jimmy? We were praising Anthony Edwards because he said that... what did he say about Karl Anthony Towns? He needs to stop effing fouling?
Well, no.
That was leadership.
We're not criticizing Jaylen Brown.
Okay.
I'm saying you want to direct your anger about Jason Tatum's performance to people like Grande, Max, Jaylen Brown, people on the team. They're being critical of Jason Tatum.
JT finally woke up, made some baskets.
Here's what I believe. You can't win a championship if you're going to expect to pull that every night.
This year you might.
No way.
Yeah?
Nope.
Those teams out west could make them pay for that?
Minnesota would have beaten them last night.
Indy's not. Indy's done. That was it.
Yep.
They took their shot. That was a game they should have won. That could have set a tone, and that could have led to a more interesting series, but that's it. That was that. And I don't mean that like it's going to end in 4. Maybe it will. I don't know. But they had a chance to make this a series, and they blew it. They gave you the game.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Felger and Mazz here. For more Celtics analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.